We had just moved into our new house in a quiet, little town on the outskirts of Vermont. It was Halloween night, the wind was sharp, the sky was overcast, and the streets had mostly emptied out of kids in costumes. My parents, my 3 sisters, my older cousin, and I were busy unpacking, trying to get some sense of normalcy in a place that didn't yet feel like home. We had only been there for a few hours, but something about the house felt strange. It was bigger than our old place, colder too, and there was this constant creaking sound, like the floorboards had their own secrets. I didn't think much of it at the time. We were just exhausted, trying to make the best of Halloween night with no candy, no decorations, and no familiar faces. I remember finishing up in my room, stacking a few boxes in the closet, placing my backpack by the corner, and just lying on my bed staring at the unfamiliar ceiling. My cousin popped in for a moment and asked if I wanted to stay up and talk, but I was dead tired. It was nearly midnight. I told him I'd catch him in the morning. As I started to drift off, I heard what sounded like footsteps above me. Now, my room was on the top floor, there was no one above me. At first, I thought it might be squirrels or maybe just the old house settling, but then the footsteps became more deliberate. Not scurrying. Not creaking. Walking. Pacing. I sat up. Heart racing. "Hello?" I called out. No answer. I tiptoed out into the hallway and looked around. Everyone's doors were shut, the house was still. I even leaned over the railing to peek downstairs. My parents were in the kitchen, still sorting dishes. My cousin was helping them. All my sisters were still in their rooms. So who was walking above my room? Trying to be rational, I told myself it was just the house adjusting to us. New people, new weight, old structure. Maybe I just wasn't used to it yet. I went back to bed and pulled my blanket up to my chin. That's when I noticed how cold the room had gotten. I could see my breath. I got up and checked the window. Closed. Heater. It was working in the other rooms, but mine felt like a refrigerator. Still, I wrapped myself tighter and tried to sleep. I woke up again, this time to a rhythmic thumping sound. Not the walking from earlier. This was banging. From the far end of the hallway. At first, it was faint. Then it grew louder. More impatient. Like someone was knocking on a door, over and over again. I thought maybe one of my sisters had locked themselves out of the bathroom. I got up, opened my door just slightly to peek out. The hallway was pitch black. And silent. Then, as I stood there frozen, I heard a whisper, not a voice, a whisper, right by my ear. "Come out." I slammed the door shut and backed up to my bed. My heart felt like it was trying to escape my chest. I kept telling myself I was tired. I was stressed. This house was old. No big deal. Then the doorknob to my room began to turn. I held my breath. Slowly, very slowly, the door creaked open. No one was there. I said, "Hey, cut it out. I'm trying to sleep," thinking maybe one of my sisters was playing a prank. But there was no giggle, no footsteps running away. Instead, the door stayed open. And then I heard soft footsteps, bare feet, pad across the floor toward my bed. They were too light to be my cousin, too slow to be one of my sisters playing around. I turned to my side, facing the room, trying to catch a glimpse. And there it was. A tall, shadowy figure. Standing right next to my bed. It had no features, just darkness. It loomed over me, not moving, not breathing. I couldn't scream. I couldn't even blink. Then it bent closer. Its face, if you could call it that, hovered inches from mine. And it whispered, "You shouldn't have come here." That's when I screamed. Loud. Loud enough to wake the whole house. My parents burst into the room, flipping on the lights. My sisters came running. The shadow? Gone. My room? Normal. I was shaking, sobbing, pointing to the spot where it stood. There was someone here. It spoke to me. Didn't you hear the banging? The footsteps? The whisper? They didn't. None of them heard a thing. My mom hugged me tight and told me I was just overtired. That moving is hard. That new places can play tricks on your mind. But I know what I heard. I know what I saw. You don't imagine cold breath and turning doorknobs and footsteps on wooden floors that aren't there. That night, I slept in the living room with all the lights on. But here's the thing, that wasn't the last time I saw the shadow. In the weeks that followed, strange things kept happening, lights flickering in my room, doors creaking open in the middle of the night, the faint sound of whispering when no one else was around. Eventually, we called someone to check the attic. Thought maybe there were animals or something up there. What they found? Nothing. Except one thing, an old, dusty mirror shoved against the far wall. It wasn't ours. It looked antique, with a cracked corner and handprints smeared across the surface from the inside. My parents tossed it in the garage. But sometimes, when I walk past it even now, I swear I see something standing behind me that isn't there when I turn around. I don't know who, or what, it is. But it doesn't feel like it's finished with me. Not yet.